My name is Mark Crivelli with GutterUniversity.com, and in this lesson I'm going to show you how to make a custom gutter miter for like bay windows or any other custom miter that you might need, any custom angle. Because the template that we showed, that I showed you how to make in the other video, was for 90-degree miters only, outside and inside miters. But this will show you how to make a template to make any angle that you need. So the way that we do this is we take a piece of flat stock gutter metal. You can do this out of cardboard. It's a lot easier with metal though, because these are durable and you can use them over and over again. And we locate the angle that we want this to be at. So we can take this piece of metal up the ladder for the miter that we're trying to make. Put this metal underneath the soffit and trace out the angle that we need exactly. So we don't have to use an angle finder or anything. Just trace it onto the metal like this. And then we measure out 5 inches from this line so we can get a 5-inch strip. So we mark 5 inches all along here. Mark 5 inches along here. And then we draw lines through these. I'm going to show you how to make this, do this using by making a template versus using this template itself. It just makes it a lot faster, especially if you're making multiple miters on a bay window that are basically the same angle. So we draw a line through the 2 points here where it connects, and then we essentially just cut this out very carefully, because if this is not straight, it will make your template off as well. Another thing to do is to paint these a special color or write template on these so that you have them available, because keep them on your truck, because if you have these already cut, you can just take this template up, put it on the miter and see if it fits. You will wind up with a big bucket full of these, and you can typically find the one that you need. You don't have to recut these every single time. Okay, so this is now our template, and we would go ahead and write template on this. Keep this in the truck. So here's how you make the actual template that you'll use to cut. This is just a section of 5-inch gutter. And what we'll do here, like with the 90-degree template, we will draw 2 lines on the back of the gutter, about 1.5 inches apart. Okay, so then we'll take this template, and like the 90-degree miter template, you're going to have essentially a triangular piece cut out of the gutter like this. So take this back side and put it on the back of the gutter here. Line it up with the line you drew through the back, and then we'll just put a little mark right here on this upper lip. And do the same thing with this side to the other line. I'm lining these up on the back like this. Draw another line right here. Now, the reason why we have this line here is because we line. This is a little bit tricky to show here, but we'll line this up now with the bottom edge. The point lines up with this line here. And then on the front side, you'll see that the line is coming through right there. We'll mark a line right there, just on that bottom lip. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Now we can put this template away, this original template, and we just connect these lines now. On the bottom, we connect this line, the back line, same thing over here, connect these two. So we wind up with something that looks like that. And we do the same thing here, we connect these lines. Connect this line. And this is our template now. As you can see, they look symmetrical. So now we just go ahead and cut this out like we did with the 90-degree template. These templates, when you go through all the trouble of making these, make sure that you keep these. Now, this template that we will use to check the fascia angle matches up with this template. So what I like to do is I put like an A on this, and I put an A on this template. So that way when I'm going through the bucket and I find that this is the angle that I need, I can find the template that matches it. Make sure, like the other template, that you cut this out very carefully. Oftentimes you'll find that bay windows are close enough that you can get away with using the same template for many of them. So if you do one bay window, keep that template and it will often match up with the majority of the other ones that you do. But again, check with this type of a template before you start cutting, especially if they're long pieces. Okay, so like with our other template for 90 degrees, make a little flap here. Cut off this top lip. Okay, so now we have a template for cutting inside and outside miters at this angle. So to do this, it's the same as using the other template for 90 degrees. On the one side, again, this would be easier to cut off the machine, but we just mark two lines, about 1.5 inches apart, inch, 1.5 inches. Just like this. And then on the back side, we get two lines going straight up from there. I'm showing you how to do an outside miter here first. The same applies for the inside miter. So we wind up with something like that. Now we just cut this out like we did with the 90-degree miter. The outside line. And then we cut a little notch through this ripple at the top of the back, just like we did with 90 degrees. Cut a little triangle out at the bottom. This back flap gets bent around to basically the angle that we were looking for. That can be adjusted once you're on the roof. We cut the same triangles that we did here. again, this is not cut. This is basically cut at the same angle, roughly the same angle that we're looking for here as well. Cut a triangle out here. One slit, slit. Now at the top, when we were dealing with a 90-degree miter, we would cut flat from here because the other miter would just slop right over that. However, because this angle is slightly different, we cut roughly at the angle that we're looking for on the top. That's because the other piece is going to have to slip over that, and if it was cut flat here, it would not reach. So then we just bend these tabs around, cut these down a little bit. These don't have to be perfect because you can adjust them on the roof. So you wind up with something that looks like this. Now we just take another piece. And again, this piece will not have tabs on it. Another line on the back side. And on this side, we just cut up the line. On this front edge, though, like with the 90-degree miters, I'm going to leave just a little bit of extra material there just to play with. So, like with other miters, this just goes together very nicely. This is very much easier to do on the roof.
Move the drill.
Just put a screw through the bottom. Connect these two up at the top. Put a screw through the back side. Screw through this front face. And screw through this top lip. This is much easier to manipulate on the roof. And as we can see here, we have the angle that we were looking for. So, just like with the 90-degree miter, we can trim off some of this extra material here. Got some slits in this. And we can bend these tabs around. And we wind up with a nice looking miter, just like we do with the 90 degree template. So that's how you do a custom template. Make sure, once again, when you go through all the trouble to make a template like this, make sure you hang on to it. And this template as well. This one you can check the angles on the roof, and this one you can cut for this specific angle. So that's it.